Hello, Dan Ashburn here again, co-founder of Titan Network, and welcome to part 2 of our free three-part series on finding success on Amazon in 2021. If you haven't already, make sure to go back to part 1 and discover how to put together an actionable plan that you actually implement to achieve success this year. Taught by multiple seven-figure seller, former wing commander in the British Air Force, and Titan leader Matt Phipps. The lessons are invaluable, and I strongly encourage you to go back and execute that first. Now, in this session, part 2 of our three-part series, multiple seven-figure seller, Titan leader Justin Dyson, who recently sold his business for multiple millions of dollars, is going to walk you through the 5 pillars of success and the only 5 places that you should be focusing your time, your energy, and executing to move quickly and build a successful Amazon business. There is a lot of stuff that we can do in this business, but we want to be smart and work on the stuff that produces the results, the 20% of effort that produces 80% of the results. And Justin, from experience in selling or building and selling a multiple seven-figure business, is going to walk you through exactly what those 5 things are. So let's jump in and I'll see you on the other side.
So what we're going to discuss are the 5 core pillars of success on Amazon. So I've talked about this in the past, but I want to be very clear in this particular presentation. We're going to spend a little more time talking about it from an exit perspective and why it's important. So the first pillar is product development. Then we have product launching, SKU optimization, which I used to call listing optimization, but in reality, it's not just a listing we're trying to optimize, it's the SKU as a whole. And actually a Titan member is the one who convinced me to change this. So kudos to you, Kevin. And then 4th is PPC optimization. And then finally, list building and utilization. And one thing to note here is that these things work together, okay? These are not to be standalone, like silos. These are things that when one moves, the other moves as well. And we want that. Guys, if we're trying to create this flywheel effect in our business, we're trying to make things easier, we want that snowball to get bigger and bigger and bigger, then we have to make it to where the strategies that we employ work in tandem with one another and build each other up. That's how you fortify your business. That's how you keep things moving in the right direction. And that's the purpose of these and why we built them in this capacity. So like I said, they should support one another and it makes everything much easier to scale. So moving on to the first one. So the first is product development. And this is something that Andrew Erickson, which is one of the other Titan leaders, used to say, still does say, and I am like 100% on board with this, and it's ABL. And it stands for always be launching, okay? And he and I both see eye to eye on this because the number one lever in your business is coming out with new products, selling new products, seeing the revenue from those, and seeing the profit from those. So before we can really talk about product launching, though, we have to actually develop something, right? If you haven't created anything new, then you have nothing to offer the market. So the first pillar and the starting point for your journey, as far as like developing a process goes, is product development. So we must come out with new products on a consistent basis. I'm going to really try to drive this home, guys. If we are not launching all the time, our business is literally moving slower than it should be, right? If we want to see 100% year-over-year growth, 200% year-over-year growth, it comes by adding new products, not just trying to be the top seller in every little category that you're in where that caps out at 50K a month, right? We have to come out with new stuff. So thirdly, this isn't automatic, and you see this a lot, especially as you talk to other sellers, is people, they'll say, and I've been selling it, 15K a month, 20K a month. I haven't launched anything in 6 months, or I haven't launched anything since last year. And it's like, dude, like you're literally killing your business by not moving forward. So in order to move this forward, we have to plan. So I'm a very big advocate of planning. Everything that Matt talked about is a huge, huge deal for me. I plan every year. I plan every quarter. I plan every month. I plan every week. And I plan every day the night before. Planning is a huge, huge, huge part of my success. And I hope you guys, hear me loud and clear on this. If we're going to move our business forward, you have to plan for it. And the first thing we want to plan for is how many products we're going to actually put out this year. So developing products to launch is the biggest lever in your business. Like I said earlier, right? This is literally the one thing that you can do that will increase revenue and profit hand over fist, day in and day out. So there's 3 primary objectives. When we're doing this, we want to do these 3 things. The first is we want to be able to plan the next 6 to 12 months of products you want to launch. Now, I want to be very clear here. For those of you that are just starting out or like you don't have any products right now, then that's one product, literally one, right? You're not trying to plan out an entire brand strategy if you've never, launched a product on Amazon before. But for those of you that have already started and you've already, made your way around the ropes, You are planning the next 6 to 12 months of products that you want to launch. Launch is the key word here. We're not planning 6 to 12 months of products we want to, maybe launch or like have some ideas for. These are things you are going to order and they are going to show up and you're going to get them into the market. So very clear on that. The second objective is to get all of these products order ready. Okay. So order ready simply means, hey, supplier, I need my samples. I'll confirm the samples. I need additional samples to confirm the first ones, make sure everything was understood on the changes I made. Those are confirmed. Cool. So order ready is simply, hey, supplier, I need 1,000 units. And you shouldn't have to do any other work other than saying go and then paying your deposit. It's order ready. So in 6 months from now or 2 months from now, you'd be like, hey, send me 1,000. They know exactly what you're talking about. And then finally, and this is why this is the first pillar, is this sets the pace for growth in your business. Okay, if you decide you're going to come out with 10 products this year, that sets the pace for launching products. It sets the pace for how many products you have to set up in PPC and optimize. And it also sets the pace for how quickly you need or can grow your list or audience. So this literally sets the pace in your business. So when we're talking about planning, this I think is one of the biggest components and one of the top ones. So the typical product development phase, and the reason I'm going to harp on this one longer than most is, and these are real numbers from my business. So going from a concept, so a product idea, to an actual sample takes 1 to 2 months. If I don't have the supplier, it could actually take longer because I have to go find a supplier at that point. But for me, it was still 1 to 2 months, even though I already worked with the same suppliers over and over. Production time in my business was 2 months. So 55 to 65 days is 2 months. Shipping time, a month and a half, a week to get to the boat, 2 weeks on the boat, a week to get off the boat, and then another 2 weeks or so to get to Amazon, which right now could be, 6 weeks, who knows? But all that to say, that means the total time to develop and get one product to market is 4 to 6 months. Guys, if you are only planning one product at a time, you can only launch 2 products a year. That is unacceptable. You're never going to grow. If you're actually in the mode to try to scale your business, you can't do that by launching 1 or 2 products a year. In your first year, that's okay. But as you move up and you move beyond that, we definitely need to be faster and move along much more quickly. So after each and every one of these, I'm going to give you guys kind of what I believe to be the ultimate, process for this particular thing or pillar. And so here's what it looks like for product development. We have products ready to launch now, multiple products and or variations confirmed for production this quarter, new samples being produced for production for the next quarter, and then we have a list of product ideas we can produce in the next 6 to 12 months, so 3 to 4 quarters from now. And this is all the time. We always have stuff now. We always have stuff this quarter, next quarter, and 6 to 12 months from now. So realistically, you're planning this 2 to 4 times a year if you're doing it correctly. So this is what I would recommend. This is what we started implementing in our business. And as a result, we could generate 50 to 60 product ideas, at the end of every year for the first 6 months of the new year, and then redo that again about halfway through Q2. So next pillar is product launching. And I move a little bit faster now just because I got the big one out of the way. So when it comes to product launching, right, we talked about developing products, but that does no good if we don't put them into the marketplace. So we actually develop products to launch them, right? That is the point. And I'm going to touch more on that in a little bit. So a product launch, again, has 3 primary objectives. The first is we're simply organically ranking for the highest or most relevant keywords that have the highest search volume. That's objective 1. Second is we need to get enough reviews to sustain organic keyword rank. And then finally, we need to hit or exceed our sales target in a predetermined amount of time. So if I say I want to make 20 grand a month in a 3-month period of my product launch, then that will help me figure out how many units I need to sell at the beginning to get the keyword rank, to get the reviews, to get to that target. And again, when we're talking about planning, guys, planning simply means you're calling your shot, right? So when we develop products, we're calling our shot. When we're launching products, we're calling our shot. And we want to do this again and again and again. So these are the 3 primary objectives for product launching. So, and I'm going to harp a little bit on this too. So launching products is investing in the growth of your business, right? You are literally putting lifeblood into your business, right? So do not be a cheapskate here. One thing I see over and over and over is people, and this also includes like 7-figure sellers. They sabotage the product launch in the name of being frugal. They want to profit or they want to try to break even on the product launch. I have never tried to break even or profit on my product launch. Have I done so? Absolutely, multiple times. But that's, again, not the objective. We went over the objectives and none of those said profit. None of those said make your money back right now or during the launch. We're going to do that in 2 to 4 weeks after we launch, but it's not what takes place during the actual launch cycle. So instead, pick products and develop a strategy for launching products in a 1 to 3 month range. Now, this is my preference. For some of you, especially in the supplement space or these higher competitive niches, that 1 to 3 months may look like 3 to 6 or 6 to 12 or 1 to 2 years even. I know some sellers in highly competitive spaces, their launch cycle is 1 to 2 years. Okay, if that's normal for your market or for your particular brand, that's okay. But you need to pick a length of time that makes sense and you need to stick by that. Okay, because again, when we are developing products, that is going to set the cadence for how many you should come out with and how many you can launch at a time, right? Because it impacts cash flow and all sorts of other things. So we want to make sure we pick products and develop a strategy for launching products in a 1 to 3 month window. That was my preference. And when we launched, right, so just kind of a quick plug here, my launch strategy was simple. Again, I want everything to be simple. I want it to be scalable. I want it to be repeatable. And in order to do that, we have to literally strip things down. So my strategy for launching for over a year now has been quite the same. We have PPC running at a very high level. We're not trying to lose money on PPC, but we're simply making sure we're spending enough to actually get sales. And then the only other thing we're doing is we have a Facebook ad that sends that traffic in the mini chat that gives them a search, find, buy offer and giving them a 100% rebate. That's it. I'm not doing anything else. I'm not doing this fancy review strategy. Reviews come from sales. I don't give a crap about that. I'm just trying to get my products out there and I will get reviews that will eventually come. So that's my strategy. It's super simple. And again, the ultimate product launch process looks like this. So we're launching products in rapid succession. Now, you can define that however you want to. In my business, that meant we were launching products, 4 products a month. That was rapid succession for us. Once we get that down like clockwork, then maybe we go to 6 or 8 a month. But whatever it is for you, if that's 2 a quarter or 1 a quarter even, that is perfectly okay. Know what rapid succession means for you. Launches take 1 to 3 months. As I said earlier, adjust that for your own business. For us, it was 1 to 3 months. And then also more in line with our business is we are profitable within 2 to 4 weeks after launch. So again, if I can call my shot, I know what's going to happen with this product. I know what kind of revenue I'm going to make, and I know what my margins are. I can reasonably say 2 to 4 weeks after I launch this product, I'm going to make all my money back and I'll be in the black from here on out, right? I can say that because I've done the math and I know what to look forward to. So this was what I consider to be the best, process for launching. And then finally, we have met keyword rank, review, and sales targets. So all that, I'm not going to repeat all that, but we've already discussed this. So moving on to 3, SKU optimization. So what is SKU optimization, right? So I want to be clear on this because, again, like I said earlier, I used to call it listing optimization, which people thought meant split testing. And while that's certainly true, but SKU optimization could be simply making sure you stay in stock. One thing that kills a lot of businesses, they can't stay in stock. And if you don't have any stock, you have no sales. And if you have no sales, you have no revenue, which means you're going to have a hard time selling your business. So SKU optimization is literally anything that has to do with the performance and profitability of your individual SKUs. So developing products and launching them does absolutely no good if you don't actually maintain that profitability. So SKU optimization has 3 primary objectives. The first is maintain profitability on all SKUs. That's paramount. Improve profitability in all SKUs. Not the same thing, close, but there's a slight difference, and we'll talk about that. And then this is something that I kind of discovered by mistake, but use the data that you find, whether intentionally or unintentionally, when you're optimizing these products, and use this data to improve the existing products you're selling and also help you develop new products, right? This was something that I stumbled upon, but one thing I found out really quickly is when I'm going to try to figure out what's wrong with a product and I'm reading reviews from my own listings, I'm reading competitor reviews, the customer will tell you what they want. So use that information to do, improve your existing products or develop new ones. So moving on. One of my favorite quotes of all time, and when I heard this on stage from Cameron Herold, I literally wanted to jump out of my seat because dude, I totally do this. I didn't know it was a thing, but apparently it's a thing. So R&D, so it does not stand for research and development. That's old school. Now it's just rip off and duplicate, okay? When you're doing SKU optimization, look to see what other people are doing well, and then go implement that. Quit trying to recreate the wheel. Again, we want to create simplicity in our business, and that means we're not going to be rocket scientists, okay? We're going to be a copycat, essentially, right? So use your competitor success to tell you what to improve, and then split test everything, and I mean everything. I can't harp on this enough. No one else's opinion of what to do will be better than you getting the data yourself. So I know you guys are in Facebook groups and forums and reading this on Google and whatnot. Yes, what works for one person may work for you too, but what works for one person may absolutely kill your listing. So before you read something on the internet or in a Facebook group and take it as gospel, implement it in your business as a split test first and get that data for yourself. That is like one of the most important things. So when it comes to split testing in general, just kind of a pro tip, right? If you've optimized your listing, your product, whatever, and sales don't sustainably increase, consider killing the product. This is all part of SKU optimization. You have to also be able to make the call to say, okay, if I'm not making any money on this product or I'm spending too much time and energy on this product, kill it. I have launched over 150 products. I think it was 150, 130, something like that. But like I showed you guys at the beginning, I only had 85 SKUs, which means I've discontinued about 50, right? I think it was like 130 SKUs total. And so I've discontinued 50 SKUs. That's okay. I'm not a failure because I've discontinued stuff. Who cares? Invest those dollars into something new that will actually generate a profit. I wish I would have started doing that in the earlier years instead of waiting until years 3, 4, and 5, because I would have moved much faster and recovered my cash out of the slower movers. So that's just pro tip. Side note. So again, the ultimate SKU optimization process looks like this. We are evaluating profitability on a monthly basis. We're constantly running split tests to find the optimum results, and then no products are losing money. Okay, that's paramount. If you see products losing money and you can't make them stop losing money, kill it. So that was the point of that last pro tip. And then all products meet a profitability standard. And you need to set this for your business, okay? In our business, it was about 10 to 15%, depending on the product and our actual margins. But if you use a tool and it's showing you your profitability and you've got a bunch of stuff that isn't negative, but it's all like 2%, 5%, 6%, like those profitability metrics aren't good either. We need to increase those. And if you can't get them to your standard, whether it's 10% or 15, again, kill that product. It's all part of SKU optimization. All right, moving on to pillar number 4, PPC optimization. This is by far the number one killer profits that I've seen in people's businesses. The first, reason is they either don't spend enough money on PPC that they can't make any money. They're spending $10 a day across 10 different products. Like, you're not going to make any money. You want to spend as much as you can. And on the flip side of that, I see it to where people are spending as much as they can, but it's so poorly optimized that they're literally losing their shirt. And that's not good either. So we need to find a process and put that in place to make sure we're not killing our profits. So PPC optimization has 3 primary objectives as well. 1, we're using all of Amazon's sponsored platforms as possible. So sponsored products, sponsored brands, sponsored display, sponsored video, literally anything that Amazon puts out as an advertising platform within their own ecosystem, use it. Why? Because people go to Amazon to buy things. People don't go to Facebook to buy things. They don't go to Pinterest to buy things. They don't go to Google to buy things. They go there to research things. So your ad dollars are better spent on a place or marketplace where people are actually going there to buy things. Like, you're not going to see a better return on Google or Pinterest or whatever the gurus are telling you to do in their little course, right? Don't do that. Spend it on Amazon. And second bullet, spend as much as possible, right? We want to push this as hard as we can, as long as, and this is the caveat, we break even, right? So we want to break even on PPC. Now, when we're talking about product launching, our strategy may change a little bit, or if we're trying to, do something else. But for your typical maintenance campaigns, these are the 3 primary objectives. So just a quick note for you, or a quick tip for you guys, right? So what we did in our business, and this was kind of at a minimum, like if we did nothing else that week, then this was it. Our weekly PPC maintenance routine did these 3 things. First, we negative match search terms that are not performing. So I want to be clear here. These are search terms we're negative matching. We're not negative matching keywords. We're negative matching search terms. There is a difference. Search terms is what the customer types in. A keyword is what you put in your advertising campaigns, right? They could be the same, but when I'm listing them out here, they're not. So second one is increase or decrease bids on keywords based on performance. So, okay, cool. If we got like a top keyword in our PPC, it's doing well. It has like a 10% ACOS and our break-even ACOS is 40%. Dude, let's spend some more money on that and see if we can keep squeezing more out of it. Let's keep that going, increase our sales. And then thirdly, add profitable search terms as keywords to your campaigns. So this is literally like the reverse of the first one. If you have a search term that's actually doing quite well, let's say it's got a 3% ACOS, or I guess what you call it, ACOS, then why don't we add that as a keyword and see if we can, put $50 behind it and see what happens, right? So those are the 3 things we primarily do. There are a whole lot more that you can do, but at a minimum, If you don't know what to do with PPC, these are the 3 things you should do every single week, twice a week if you can. All right, so pro tip, and I could spend a lot of time on this too, is great keyword research is the key to great PPC results. Back in the day, we used to say start with 5 to 10 keywords or 50 keywords. My strategy has completely reversed over this past year. Within Titan, the help of the few of the other leaders, we've developed tools that actually help us find 200 to 400 keywords per product that we know are working and we know are relevant and we know what their search volume is. We can take those, put those into our PPC campaigns on day one. And instead of spending, $20 a day and maxing out because you can't seem to spend anymore, I can spend $100, $200 a day. And because those keywords are so relevant, I'm actually profitable on PPC with 0 reviews. Like, that is unheard of. And that is what we've been able to do and figure out within Titan. So that is my pro tip on that. So again, ultimate PPC optimization process looks like this. These are the standards that we set in my business. We're maximizing ad spend at a break-even ACoS on an individual SKU level. Every SKU has a different profitability metric. We need to make sure we're maximizing it for that individual SKU. And then we're utilizing all available Amazon advertising placements or platforms. Every single one. I don't care what it is. Unless we've tested it and found it to be crap, we're going to use it. And then pro tip here again is PPC is the easiest pillar to delegate because it's entirely data driven. So just a little foreshadowing here. We're going to talk about delegating and why that's so important. If you are struggling to offload things, PPC is rather simple, simply because all you have to do is say, hey, I need you to meet these metrics and go from there. So moving on to the last pillar, right? List building and utilization. And the reason this one is last, guys, because if you don't have any products, what the hell is the point of having a list, right? Start with the first pillar and move on, right? So list building and utilization. And this is my take on it. This is my preferred method, and it works exceptionally well. So your customer lists and audiences should make the first 3 pillars go faster and be more predictable. So earlier I said everything works together. This is the one that speeds things up. This is the one that makes them more profitable and work much more cohesively. So list building and utilization has 3 primary objectives, same as everything else. 1, develop new products. I don't know if you've heard that one before, but that's our primary use actually. 2, launch new products. You've definitely heard that one before. And then 3, sell them your other products. That's typically the one everyone tries to do and fails. So those are the 3 primary objectives and the ones that we actually employed in our business. And let's talk about how. So again, everything works together. So how can we grow our list without doing any extra work? Well, we develop a launch strategy that adds to our list. And now we don't have to try to build one. It just does it on its own. So again, what I showed you guys earlier, we have that Facebook ad that sends traffic into ManyChat with a search find buy and then 100% rebate, right? We're getting people on our ManyChat list doing this, right? Now, we don't want to just leave them there. So we also get their email. That's mandatory for them to get their rebate. And then secondly, now, why don't we try to get these people into a Facebook group or some other type of group where you can talk to them whenever you want and however you want? This for us was a huge, huge game changer. And it made it so that anytime we came out with a new product, we simply went to our Facebook group, said, hey, this is the new product we're coming out with. And, what do you think about this pattern or this color or whatever? And they were brutally honest. And they told us what they liked and what they didn't like. As a result, we literally developed what they told us they wanted, went back to them and said, hey, we made it. You want to buy it? They're like, yes, cool. Now I've had my list help me make a product. Now I've launched them my product. And it was very little effort, very little work. And it makes the launching go much faster, makes product development go much faster. So the ultimate list building and utilization process looks like this. So we're actively growing our list, right? Meaning we're always launching. Going back to ABL, remember, everything works together. I hope I'm being real clear on this. If we're always launching, we're always growing our list. So it's actively growing. And then we're using our audience to generate product ideas, launch products, and then to resell to people on our list, right? These are the 3 primary objectives that we talked about in the beginning. And this should be happening automatically, right? This literally should be the easiest thing. So just a quick review, right? I'm running a little long on time here. So product development is the first pillar. And when product launching, SKU optimization, PPC optimization, and list building and utilization. Now, we're trying to sell our business, right? So where do we go from here? It's cool and all to develop systems and processes in each of these, but now we have to get to a point where we are not needed. So if there was a 6th pillar, I'm not saying there is, but if there was, it would be to build your team to manage the 5. Okay. I don't know who out there needs to hear this, but there's not a single thing in your business that you have to do. Not one. I just sold my company, guys. I'm no longer with the company and it's surviving. In fact, it's doing quite well. I promise you, there's not a single thing that you need to be doing in your business. You can offload everything. So especially for you 7-figure sellers, every pillar can be systemized and delegated to a team member. Get out of your own way. So how do we turn it into a process? So how do we actually make this transition? How do we go from being the solopreneur to the CEO? So this is the strategy that we employed for actually creating a process and delegating it to a team member. So first, create a plan for accomplishing the primary objectives in that pillar. So I gave you the pillars. So use those and develop or create an actual plan to achieve those, right? And that's gonna be different for every business, but the overall objectives are the same. Execute the plan at least once, right? You have to try it. You can't just be theoretical. So if you have a launch plan and you have a system that you want to use for that, create it and then go use it, see what happens. And then optimize your plan with the learnings from round 1 implementation. So this literally means go out, create a plan, execute the plan, mess up, make some mistakes, and then learn from those, and then redraw up your plans to be optimized for the mistakes you made. Real simple. Everyone tries to avoid making mistakes. Guys, that is the point. Mistakes are the point. Your job as a CEO, as an entrepreneur, is to solve problems, which means you have to find the mistakes. So do that. And then fourthly, once you've optimized it, document the optimized process that you created. You can do this in a video. You can do this in SOP. What my preferred method was create a video showing how to do it, give it to the person who I hired to do it, have them write the SOP, proving they understood how to do it, right? So now I don't have to waste my time writing the SOP. I simply make a video of what I'm going to already do anyways, and they can get to do all the hard work, right? That's what we wanted to do, or that's what I wanted to do in my case. And then hire and coach a team member to manage that process. So if you've got a process, you've documented it, now you're ready to hire somebody. And I want to be very clear here, guys. You are coaching a team member. You're not delegating through abdication, right? Where you set it and forget it. That doesn't work. I've tried it many times and failed every single time. You're hiring a team member and you're coaching that team to be successful. So, and then lastly, and this is where you're going to have to swallow your ego, allow them to change the process as they gain expertise. At some point, guys, your team member will be more, they'll be better at whatever it is than you were. At some point that will happen. And you have to be okay with letting them change the process based on the expertise that they gained along the way. So this, take a screenshot or whatever. This is how we hired people. This is how we created the process. And this is what it took to go from me being in the day-to-day, touching literally everything, stressed out, being very upset all the time, angry, to literally not having anything to do in my business. It was following this process here. So that's how we take those 5 pillars and we turn them into a process and delegate that out so that you can become the CEO, right? In order to do that, guys, you got to stop chasing shiny objects. I did that for 3 years. It's a no-go. It creates problems. My team literally told me, we hate that you go to conferences because every time you come back, you take whatever we've been doing for 3 months or however long it's been, you throw it out the window and say, hey, we're going to do this now because I just learned about it at a conference. Your team hates it, guys, so stop doing it. And then secondly, quit doing everything yourself. That was the hardest thing for me. I was the guy, I knew all the things, I wanted to be all the things, but you're in your own way if you're doing it yourself. And then thirdly, quit complicating your business. Quit going to all the different channels. I went through all 5 of those pillars, and you'll notice we didn't talk about other marketplaces. We didn't talk about Walmart, Etsy, eBay, Jet. We didn't talk about anything like that. And the reason being is, guys, it's unnecessary. If you are going to sell your company in 3 to 5 years, which is the typical range, why do you need to go to those places? Double down on Amazon, build this business. When you go to sell it, tell the buyers, like, hey, look what I've done on Amazon. You can take it to Walmart. You can take it to Jet. You can take it to wherever, because you literally paved the path for them to do that. But if you complicate yourself, complicate your business, now you're on Amazon, Walmart, Jet, eBay, whatever, and you're in all these marketplaces, unless those marketplaces, like individually, are producing 20% or more of your revenue, they don't count. Like, hear me on that again, guys. If they're not producing 20% of your revenue, the buyer doesn't care. It actually hurts your valuation in some cases because you couldn't produce 20%. They see it as a failure. So don't, for the sake of growth, try to complicate your business and do all these things, then go to sell it and shoot yourself in the foot. That's no good, guys. So super, super important. And in order to become the CEO, you have to start creating processes for the 5 core pillars, build your team around these processes, and then coach your team for success. Again, you're the coach, you're the leader, you're the CEO. You have to do those things. right? That's how your role changes. You're no longer the doer, you're the coach, right? They say those who can't do teach. Well, guess what? You have to stop being the one who does, and you have to start teaching, and that's okay. Get used to it. So finally, consistent growth doesn't have to be complicated. I hope I've made that clear. Like I said in the beginning, guys, you want to make it boring, make your operations boring, and do everything you can to simplify what you have going on. And so if your revenue and profit look like this, and they're constantly going up every single year, buyers will want to give you this, right? So that's the whole point. That's why we're here. We want to build this business. We want to sell it. We want to get 10 plus years of income all at once. That's freaking fantastic. So I want to leave you guys with a few action items, especially for those more advanced sellers out there. Use the 5 core pillars as a guide for consistent growth. I'm telling you guys, when we stripped all of the crap out of the way and we just went down to those 5 core pillars, our business went much faster. I became less stressed, and I got out of the day-to-day as a result. Start creating processes and systems in your business. And just a pro tip on that is work on one pillar at a time. It's very hard to try to fix everything at one time. Don't do that. Pick one thing and work on that. And then finally, hire a team to manage those systems as they're built, right? So if you're working on product development, develop a process for that, hire a team member to handle that, and then move on to the next one. And then lastly, coach your team for success. Right? I hope that was clear on that. You are the coach. Super, super important.
So now you know the 5 pillars of success in any Amazon business, and specifically where you need to focus your energy and your effort and be building towards. This is based on multiple millions of dollars in sales, and Justin himself going through a multi-million-dollar exit of his own brand. And if you have taken notes and created your action plan as Matt taught you in part 1, you are only going to set you up for more success in 2021. Now, everything Justin went through is really just the tip of the iceberg, and is a taste of everything that we train step by step inside of Titan, week in, week out, day in, day out, across our work parties, our huddles, our bi-monthly masterclasses, our one-on-one sessions. And if you like the sound of that and you want to move faster in your business, you want to be led by people like myself, Justin, and all of our other Titan leaders who are multiple 7-figure sellers themselves, then check out titannetwork.com, where I invite you to apply to Titan, jump on the phone with one of our team, and see if it's a good fit for yourself. Titan is producing results unlike anywhere else in the industry because we have everything you need to succeed in this business and move faster towards your goal. So I invite you to go to titannetwork.com and apply. And now jump over into part 3, where we're going to walk through exactly how to build this business for valuation, and what's good for selling a business is good for building a business, delivered by Scott Dietz, who is arguably the best authority on selling Amazon businesses. Over 9 figures in Amazon exits under his belt, over $250 million in valuations sold. Scott has seen it all, done it all, and I'm very proud to have Scott as a part of Titan, leading our weekly corporate development work party, where Scott and his colleagues talk through everything valuation, partnerships, financing, renegotiating partner terms, forecasting, everything it really takes to build a serious business and get the highest multiple on that valuation for your business. Scott delivers week in, week out in a very close group, a Zoom meeting that we call a work party, and Scott is going to give you a taste and some very actionable content that you can take down and factor into your 2021 plan. So dive in right now, and I'll see you on the other side.